Savage Joy is live tonight with congressional candidate CJ Berina. He is running in California District 30. So thank you all for tuning in. CJ, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So you are, where is District 30? What is the, what towns are you in?
So District 30 is in LA, in California, and we are, so basically we're a little bit north of actual LA. We're the area that's referred to as the Valley, so the San Fernando Valley, and that is, I don't know if are you familiar? You're not in LA, so.
I have never been to California, unfortunately.
Oh, okay.
I'm in Pennsylvania.
Okay, cool. Yeah, it's basically the San Fernando Valley in LA. We're about, 10, 15 minutes north of Hollywood, in a sense.
Yeah. And what is the Democratic makeup there? Do you know how many percentage of voters are Democrats there?
So usually in a congressional race, most of them, about 75% will vote Democrat and 25 will vote Republican.
Oh, okay.
And there's this area, there's parts of our district that have high income people, so I'm not sure that really equates to them voting Republican, but I could assume, possibly that is. And then there are pockets of our district that do lean Republican as well. So yeah.
Right. Hey Laura, thank you so much. So you were recommended to me by a couple of my viewers. And of course, everybody knows the first thing I ask is, who do you endorse for 2020? Because I am messing around. So yeah. When you said you were a Bernie supporter, I'm like, okay, that's the first step. Yep. So as far as your platform goes, you do have Medicare for All on your platform, and it's interesting because the past few months I'm finding myself have to ask, what kind of Medicare for All?
Yeah, so I support Bernie Sanders' version of Medicare for All. I don't support anything with a public option. I think that defeats the entire purpose of Medicare for All, and it's trying to discredit Medicare for All. So I would support Bernie Sanders' version of Medicare for All.
Right on. So you do not feel that there should be any private insurance, for-profit insurance anywhere in the policy?
Nope, not at all. Yeah.
And have you had a chance to look over Elizabeth Warren's that she just came out with 2 days ago?
I have not, unfortunately. I was I had a birthday party 2 days ago, so
nice.
Yeah, I've been disconnected from the internet until today. So yeah, I haven't fully seen it yet. Is it?
Well, happy belated.
What's your thoughts on it? Thank you.
You know how we all gave Kamala shit when she gave it takes 10 years. Well, Elizabeth Warren's takes 10 years as well.
Oh yeah. I heard she wants it as a long-term vision.
Yeah. So only a couple 100,000 people died during that. So no biggie apparently.
Yeah.
What do you, when you go canvassing and you phone bank and things like that, what are some of the things that people tell you that they're concerned about as far as healthcare goes?
As far as healthcare, I think that just the prices are too high, and I guess just access to healthcare, being uninsured or underinsured, those are the main ones that I've been hearing. But I think there's a lot of misinformation campaigns going on by other candidates running for president, or by the health insurance companies that are trying to basically discredit Medicare for All and kind of mess with everyone's opinions on the subject. So I think it's a little tricky, but hopefully we can get the information out there and make sure that people are on board with Medicare for All and that they understand that a public option is not the way to go.
Absolutely. Now you also have a Green New Deal on your policy page. That's kind of, necessary.
Mhm.
So at this point, we have 11 years to
Mhm.
do something drastic.
Yeah.
Um, Part of the Green New Deal, which unfortunately only Bernie talks about, is a federal jobs guarantee. Is that
Mhm.
something you support?
Yeah, I support that. Yeah.
And what is your reasoning for that?
I mean, I think we're going to need a federal jobs guarantee to enact like a Green New Deal in order to get these 20 million jobs and the $16 million investment, and to really transition into, wind and solar. We're going to really need that many people. We're going to need to get the entire country back to work, into enacting this Green New Deal.
Absolutely. What are some of the other areas of the Green New Deal that you're passionate about? Because I know in California, you guys have a totally different situation with the wildfires and being
Mm-hmm.
right up against water, everything like that. Not all of us are in that situation. So, what
Mm-hmm.
other things, as a Californian, do you think are imperative in that Green New Deal?
Um, as a Californian, I feel like well, so basically, I've been seeing some articles recently that say that if we don't do anything about climate change, basically, they're showing all the cities that are going to be underwater due to it. I think most of LA is going to be underwater if we don't do anything about it. So I think just the my entire thing is not just one specific thing, but the full plan as a whole, like, doing everything from electric cars to LED light bulbs to wind to solar to geothermal to carbon dioxide removal. I think we're going to need it all. So I'm not really focused on one tiny part, but just the whole plan as a whole is, I believe is what we need. So just
Yeah,
making sure that we
absolutely.
do that so we can, we could stop climate change in its track and reverse it.
You also state on your platform that you want money out of politics.
Mm.
Um, First, I want to ask, how many people are you running against, and how do they feel about money in politics?
Yeah, so I've depending on different sites, I think there's different sites out there that are showing all the people that have like filed with the FEC. Um, from these various sites, I've seen anywhere from like 6 to 8 people on there, and I haven't seen basically most of them don't have a website yet. So I'm not sure if they're 100% in the race. But for the most part, I think it's I don't think too many of my opponents are really caring about money in politics. Um, so yeah, I think like I have like 2 Republican opponents. I have one that's running independent. I have another one that's running, but I don't really see a website from them. So can't really say that I know everyone's stances on getting money out of politics if they have one. Yeah.
What is the incumbent like? What party are they, and what would you do differently?
Yeah, so his name is Brad Sherman, and he's a Democrat. He's a corporate Democrat, and he takes money from everyone you can think of. He has he takes 76,000 from the securities and investments industries. He takes money from the commercial banks, and because of that, you'll see that one of his biggest things that he's actually vocal about is it's about banning cryptocurrency, and it's like, dude, you're our congressman, and out of all the things that you're passionate about, it's about banning cryptocurrency. So that's just one of them. But the next thing that he does is he takes $55,000 from the insurance companies. So obviously, if you're taking that much money from the insurance companies, why on earth would you be a supporter for Medicare for all? So I think it's the Humanists. They did a video on a town hall, of Brad Sherman talking about. He was asked by a local activist and a reporter here, Lauren Steiner, that basically if he'd support it or not, and he just kept dodging the question. He kept saying, "Oh, it's if we go for Medicare for all or single payer, that Trump is going to put Trump care in, and we got to defend Obamacare so that all these people won't be thrown off insurance. But he basically just kept dodging the question. He never said he'd support it. And but I think I've also seen online that he does support it, but I don't really think he does. He also had it on his website. He posted the question to the people on his website. He was basically trying to ask if you would support Medicare for all, but he phrased it as, would you support government-run insurance or health insurance? And if you know the talking points by the health insurance companies, those are one of their talking points. Those are one of their phrases that they say to discredit Medicare for all.
And Republicans.
Yeah, and Republicans. And then he also takes from he takes from everyone, the credit card companies, the finance industry, the defense and aerospace industries. So you'll always see him voting yes on any military budget increases when we're spending like $700 billion. So I just think it's pretty ridiculous. And one of my fourth main priorities is ending the wars, just because we are spending over half of our federal budget on defense. So it's I think we've spent over $6 trillion on wars that have killed over 500,000 people in the last since 9/11. So I think it's kind of ridiculous. I think we need to stop, and we need to make sure that we're allocating our money into the right things, like a Green New Deal, roads, infrastructure, and things like that.
So is he the reason you were inspired to run?
I was inspired by a few things. Bernie Sanders is definitely one of them. Bernie Sanders would do all these videos, and he'd talk to his volunteers, and he would say, after he gets elected, he's going to need our help. And I don't think he could do it with a Congress that isn't going to support his ideas. And I think he's going to need the general public to support his ideas too. So I figured I would throw my hat into the race, try to become one of the congressmen that can support his ideas, and also if I could also push his vision to my district as well. And I've been campaigning for, I forget how many months, but I think I've been campaigning for like 8 or 9 months or something like that. If I could be promoting his vision for 8 or 9 months to my district, and persuade a few people, that we need Medicare for all and a Green New Deal, and to get money out of politics and to end the wars, then I think, anything whatever the results may be, I think, we'd still come out with a win.
Yeah, absolutely. And for viewers, just as a reminder, California has what's called that jungle primary. So top two people move on, whether it's both Dems or both Republicans or a Green and a Dem or whatever. So that's actually advantageous when it comes to progressives. Sometimes that can work. Say, Nancy Pelosi. A progressive could very well go up against her, which hopefully will happen. But
hopefully Shahid Buttar.
I did a three-way debate between all three of the candidates going up against Pelosi. So it was interesting. It was a little over 2 hours. So I asked each of them, all the same questions. So it was a good debate. Even as, someone in Pennsylvania, we are all watching that race. All of us. We're like, please get her out, please. So you say end the wars. Absolutely. What they are working on, they're trying again to pass the pulling out from Yemen, which made history as far as having it passed, but then it was vetoed at the last minute, of course. But they're trying to push that again. What is your concerns with Trump flirting with, going to war with Iran and really anyone is new every single day? What is your, what are your fears with that kind of rhetoric?
Um, I think it's the same fears that everyone has. I don't think Trump is fit to be in office. He's basically like a kid with the access to our nuclear codes, and I just don't think he's fit to be in office. I think you know, he's he's making decisions based on what's going to impact him financially, or what's going to impact his buddies in Russia, and or how he's feeling at the time. If people are tweeting him, bashing him on Twitter, and he's angry, maybe he'll decide to do something. I just don't think he's fit to be our leader, and I don't think he should have any sort of military power under him. Let alone, I don't think he should be in power at all. I believe we need to impeach him and get him out of there as soon as possible.
So do you, as far as that goes, is that something that essentially, let's say he would get reelected, which is certainly possible. People don't like to think about it, but it is absolutely feasible. And let's say he would get reelected and you would be in office. Do you think it would be difficult for you to vote against him all the time? Do you think that you would stay strong in your beliefs?
I think I'd easily be able to stay strong in my beliefs. I don't think I would vote along with him too much. Yeah, I could easily go against him. Yeah, it's not a problem.
Kind of figured you'd say that, but so, of course, one of the most important things on people's minds is immigration. As far as your district, do you have a lot of immigrants?
If we do, there's like a border. The district lines are drawn a little weird, but I would probably say there's a lot of you said sorry, did you say like immigrant, like undocumented immigrants? Is that what you're referring to?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We definitely have some undocumented immigrants in the district. I mean, it's LA, so yeah, we definitely have a lot of undocumented immigrants. Even nowadays, I'm finding out more and more that there's undocumented immigrants that I personally know. Like people would be trying to donate to my campaign, but you can't donate unless you're a U.S. immigrant. So yeah, there's definitely undocumented immigrants in this district.
And what are their concerns? Because they can't vote. So how do you reassure them that even though they can't vote for you, you would still have their back?
I think it's a little tough, but you just need to make sure that you're fighting for them. You try to make sure that we close the camps. Try to make sure that we cancel and end ICE. Just making sure that we're fighting for their rights and making sure that we have immigration reform in this country, and making sure that we have a smooth path to citizenship in this country, and making sure that no one's going to be deported just because we have a president like Trump in office. I think that's what we have to do, and just make sure that we continue to keep fighting for them.
Absolutely. When is your primary?
Primary is going to be March 3rd.
March 3rd. Okay.
March 3rd,
that's a Super Tuesday, right?
Yeah.
That's going to be interesting.
Yeah, big day.
So now California is so confusing when it comes to voting, because I remember how bad we got screwed with Bernie, because they were all trying to give the ballots that were not accurate. So what is the correct way if you are not a Democrat to vote? Which ballot should you be getting?
I believe from what I hear, I think I could be wrong on this, but I think if you're independent, you can vote for them. But I hear also the opposite. I hear that if you're an independent, you can't vote for a Democrat. So I mean, if you want to vote for me or a Democrat, I'd probably try to register to Democrat.
That's what
because I
I
know for
tell
sure.
everyone because it's
Yeah,
just
yeah,
easier. Like, I'm not
mhm,
trying to risk anything this time. We got
yeah,
to think about what happened last time.
yeah.
Um, what about affordable housing and
Mhm,
caps on rent? What are your thoughts
mhm.
on that?
I believe we need nationwide rent control. I think what is Bernie's plan? I think it's 3% increase per year. I think. Yeah, I agree with that. I think landlords shouldn't have the right to uh, increase rents just because they're trying to catch up to market rents. Because if they're doing that, then every single landlord is always going to be pushing the bar higher so that they could get, higher rents and more profit. And I'm pretty familiar with the real estate industry, and these guys are making pretty good money. Real estate's a pretty sound investment. So I don't think they should be able to kick out families just because they need more money from rent, basically.
Absolutely. What about
Mm-hmm.
criminal justice reform? I've saw within the past few days some changes are going on in California as far as for-profit prisons, which is
Mm-hmm.
awesome.
Yeah.
How do you feel about ending cash bail and ending death penalty and all of these things? What are your thoughts as far as what we need to change?
Yeah, so I think we definitely need to end the cash bail. I think that's just a war on the poor, and I think it's wrong. You shouldn't have to pay thousands of dollars just to get out of jail. If you get arrested and then you have these Aladdin bail bonds guys trying to charge a premium on you getting arrested, and then even if you get out, you're basically stuck in debt for a while, and then they try to take your cars away from you. I think that's totally wrong, and we basically need to end that. And then I think as far as what was the next one you said? It was not cash bail. It
Ending
was
the death penalty, which is
oh yeah,
still
yeah, definitely,
active
yeah,
in several
definitely end,
states.
yeah, definitely end the death penalty. We should definitely ban private prisons. Um, yeah, it's basically my stance.
Absolutely. Um, what are some of the other things you want to focus on? Do you support free college?
Yeah, I support free college. I don't think I don't think anyone should have to go into debt over trying to, pursue higher education, especially if they're trying to get a job and trying to contribute to society afterwards. I think that's exactly opposite of what we should be doing as a society. Um, uh, yeah, we should be encouraging people to go to school, not not making them suffer for doing so. I have a, I think my brother was like $26,000 in debt because of it, and he's hasn't been guaranteed a job. I have another cousin. I think his numbers were up in the 70 and $80,000 a year, and then I actually know another person who has over $200,000 in debt, and it's getting pretty ridiculous. Like people are actually like the debt collectors are harassing her at work. Um, and then they're actually finding out that even what she paid, some of that debt hasn't, like, even though they've been paying it off, some of that hasn't been counting towards her debt that's been paid down. Um,
Mhm.
so yeah, I think we need to make college free. It's pretty simple. Um, and then yeah, just canceling all student debt and along with Medicare medical debt as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Matthew, hi Matthew. He asked, does CJ have a robust fundraising and volunteer network?
Yeah, so fundraising is really tough. um, I've gotten over 100 donations so far. I think we're closing on like $3,000 or so. It's not the
30,000?
biggest. No, 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 3,000.
I was like,
Um,
what?
yeah, no, I wish. Yeah, it's not the highest amount, so we could definitely use more donations if you'd like to help donate. Um, uh, but as far as volunteers, yeah, we've been growing our volunteer list. We're about to start our ground game since we're about 4 months out right now. And we've actually been getting a lot of like e-volunteers through Twitter actually, and then we've been meeting a lot of people that just happen to be in the LA area that want to help. So we're definitely about to get that started since we're in like the coming months right now.
Yeah. What is let's say you're elected tomorrow. What is one of the, the first thing on your mind? What do you want to do?
The first thing on my mind is Green New Deal and climate change. Just because we're running out of time, and if we don't take care of that, all these other issues won't matter. So that's definitely the first one, but that doesn't mean that we can also focus on other issues at the same time. But definitely a Green New Deal as soon as possible.
Absolutely. Do you want to give the viewers your Twitter and your website and all that fun stuff?
Yeah, sure. So the website is CJ for Congress 2020, and the four is it's spelled out, and then my Twitter, I don't have it memorized. It's CJ the number 4 and then Congress 2020. But on my website you can find all the links: Facebook, Twitter. I have a YouTube. I also have the Act Blue page on there as well.
Okay, right on. What do you want to leave our viewers with? What kind of message do you want to tell them so they recommend you and share this?
I'd probably say keep fighting. I think we're all on the same page. A lot of us agree with the same progressive ideals. And I think it's not going to take one person. I'm not the savior. It's going to take all of us as a whole to really accomplish these goals. And to probably start getting involved. I know a lot of people are like Twitter activists, but I'm pretty sure there's.
Oh yeah.
I'm pretty sure there's a lot of elected official positions you could get into. So I started with my neighborhood council out here in LA, and then I joined another committee that helped with urban planning in the area, and then I became an assembly delegate for District 45 out here in the California Democratic Party. And ever since then, I've actually convinced my campaign manager to run for a county position for the California State Party. And then I've actually convinced my girlfriend, who's not really political at all, but she goes to all these events with me. I've actually convinced her to run for the county state party position as well. So yeah, definitely just try to get involved. Even if you don't think you could, there's always positions there. Even your local Our Revolution or your local Feel the Burn clubs, join as many of those and try to get involved, because then you'll start hearing more people come to the table and they'll give you ideas. And I think together we could do this, but it's going to take more than one person, and it's going to take all of us as a whole. And then just definitely try to donate to other small campaigns. Like I know Virginia has their election, I think it's tomorrow. And that's a huge one where we're trying to flip their House, Senate, and I don't know what the other one. I assume the governor position. I'm not too sure. But if we flip Virginia and then it becomes blue and we have control there, that'll definitely help make sure that Virginia stays blue for a while, and that's going to make sure that we have blue congressional seats in some districts that are usually red. And then hopefully with that we can really pass a progressive agenda. And then yeah, just making sure you're volunteering to those and donating to those campaigns as well, because those people need your help. Fundraising is not easy.
Yeah. Absolutely. You're right on, because presidential campaign is huge. It's important, but there are so many other people. And I want to remind you guys, tomorrow we vote. We vote in Pennsylvania, and I'm pretty sure like everywhere else, but it's an off year election. So a lot of people don't vote.
Oh, yeah.
But you can always do like I do. I vote for who I like, which is usually one person or two people if I'm lucky. And then I just write in Bernie for everyone else. That way, we both win. So thank you so much for joining us tonight, CJ. I wish you the best of luck with everything. You guys, as always, thank you for watching. I tentatively have the freaking amazing writer Ryan Grimm on Friday. We're still working with a time. And then I have some awesome candidates coming up in this month. And Tuesday, apparently I'm going to DC to be with Bernie again. I didn't know this till yesterday, but yeah, for the 13th time, I'm gonna go be with Bay. So I'll be taking some footage here and there in DC. So, oh yeah, Indiana tomorrow. Right on, right on. Yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and also definitely follow Real Progress and Action, because that is where my show is going to stream. Since we filed for 501c3 and 501c4, we have to keep politics separate from the education, even though I think I give y'all some free education, but you know what I mean. So anyway, thank you guys again. Thank you, CJ.
Yep.
Best of luck
Thanks
with everything. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Greatly appreciate it.
Absolutely. Bye-bye.
Bye.